right, listen up.
Ron and Fez.
I don't like white people.
It's the Ron and Fez Show on 106.7 WJFK.
Well, that's a surprise every night. I know that much.
Somewhere Mikey D is screaming. It is the Ron and Fez Show. Blind Courtney sitting in with us tonight. Also, Mikey Boy in the Hizzle. Fezzy, later on this week, I think Fred is coming in to hang out with us.
Oh, Fred from the Ritz on Main Street in Fairfax.
Also, I guess Jen's going to be with him. I'm not sure. Jen had a date with El Jefe. They went to Ozfest together, and apparently El Jefe did something inappropriate, so she may not be coming in.
Oh, great.
All El Jefe told me is that it was his Roman hands and Russian fingers, and I don't even know what that means. I'm not sure. How did the date work out, El Jefe?
How'd it go?
Are you back on the horse again now?
Well, I don't know if I'd call it a date.
Well, you
seem like it.
You went to the show together, right?
Yeah, but I mean, we could, platonic friends.
Right. Well, that's still like a fun date with you were a shy boy.
Is she your mujer now?
What's that mean?
Lady.
Oh, I didn't know.
No. I had an extra ticket to Ozfest, and Jen had asked me a long time ago. I think the very first time she came in with Fred. And, I figured if I'm going to take anybody or, I may as well be a hot chick.
Yeah.
Why not?
So how did it work out between you two?
Oh, it was great. In fact, what ended up happening, we had a good time at the show. She really wanted to see Manson. And I'm all for turning anybody on to Manson, so I took her to go see the show.
Right.
We left early, right after Manson. She invited me to go out with her and her friends.
Ooh.
She even offered, if I wanted to stay at her place, crash on the couch.
Sure.
But I said no. It's too early. I mean, she's a nice chick. I don't want her.
You want to wait for a while. You want to make sure she's not using you.
Now, if she was just some skank off the street, then maybe.
You think this might be the real thing then?
Well, I mean, she's one of those with potential, so you don't want them to be the rebound.
You mean marriage potential?
No, just
relationship potential.
Yeah, maybe.
I think you're ready to get married again.
I think you're ready one more time. Get back on that saddle.
Walk that aisle.
This has been the longest streak without even just having somebody.
Without a marriage?
Yeah, just hitless. Just a hitless streak he's on.
Well, this is nice that you thought enough that, maybe this is something I want to develop.
Well, I mean, yeah, I didn't want to, I didn't want to use her, too, because she's a friend of the show,
Please, use away.
That'd be raw.
Hey, believe me, nothing professional comes in between that. Remember that. I don't care if it's a client. The only reason why to get into this stupid business is to meet women. So never think that, I can't do this because it's bad for the show. You do what you have to do. That's why Fez is going to air one out tonight.
I am not going to air one out in front of Blind Courtney. I was thinking about that. Can you get arrested for airing it out in front of a blind person?
No, if she's okay.
Right next to her?
Fez, she's not a child. She's a woman.
Well, I could always say, well, I didn't see anything.
Exactly.
And if I could see it, might be.
No, you wouldn't. I know you. You wouldn't say
Believe me, even if you had your sight, you wouldn't be able to see anything.
All right, rude and rude. I'm here. I'm here in the room.
Tomorrow night, Fezzy, is, of course, 9/11. We're going to take the show in a different direction, and maybe talk a little more serious tomorrow night, and just talk about 9/11 and some of the way people are feeling. Take everybody's temperature, if you will, I guess.
Just see how everyone's doing maybe 2 years later.
And it would be a chance for J-Dubs to tell us what it was like to go through 9/11 in Michigan.
See how affected Fowlerville was.
You ever notice that you feel that way about people who weren't too close to anything? You're like, yeah, I'm sure it affected you. Yeah, tell me again how you saw it on TV. That's a great story.
You tend to just keep them out of the circle.
Have you ever noticed that, though?
Yeah.
You do have a tendency with that.
Yeah, it's an instinct, You think of the people that were there with you, not the ones that were, looking in the ICP dumpster. Outside of Fowlerville, Michigan.
That's why he remembers 9/11 so well. He found a bootleg. an ICP bootleg that day.
I get little things that I obsess on. They fill up my brain.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
I never would have guessed.
And that is my thing with J-Dubs. With him, I'll always say, why don't you just climb in ICP's dumpster? That's the thing I won't let go with him.
And he's like, what does that have to do with anything? I'm trying to find out.
I think after tonight it might be moon shoes. It might actually change to moon shoes.
That's the cart moon shoes. Come on. You just find something, one little part, and just pick at it like it's a scab.
I thought you could move a little faster, moon shoes. Get going. So, yeah, that's just the way I operate. So, Hefe, don't, I hope nothing bad happens with our friend Jen, so that's my little obsession with you.
Whatever. El Jefe had to take his shot. He had to take his shot, and I don't blame him for it.
And, of course, there's new Rory. He's just the angry young man. That's my thing with him.
You know what? Maybe tomorrow night we'll do it later tonight. We'll play some of his stand-up and dissect it with him and maybe just go over it and see how he feels about it. Did you get any feedback on how your stand-up went last night, Rory?
New Rory was in here doing freestyle stand-up comedy.
You know what? He told us he was going to do 2 minutes. He rambled for 6.
I heard it was 6 minutes. I can't believe that.
I thought it was 14.
We were as shocked as you.
Surprised I didn't see like a dart go through my chest or something after a minute and a half, because if it was so bad.
Well, no, you were pretty happy with it, right? You thought you did well.
Well, I know I messed up on a lot of
You have a chance to open for Sparkle Motion.
Right. That's a big thing for me.
That's the band that's playing.
Yeah, that's the most important thing. You got to get that opening gig.
That's right.
For Sparkle Motion. That's your little goal right now.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Now, Fezzi, you were telling me Opus is coming back.
Opus the Penguin from the old comic strip Bloom County. Opus the Penguin is coming back.
Oh, wait a minute. Mikey Boy just stepped up. Are you happy with this, Mikey? Are you an Opus fan?
I was just getting out of...
Oh, okay. Oh.
You stepped right up to a microphone. I thought, here we go.
Because Fezzi and I were trying to decide whether this Opus was ever funny. I know people like the Bloom County. I've never liked a comic strip. What was your top 5? You said it today.
Let's see. My top 5 was, I went with Beetle Bailey.
Yeah. And that's funny to you?
I always liked Beetle Bailey. How he would always try to get out of work. I would always love that guy.
Now, who was the kind of little assistant, secretary there?
Miss Buxom?
Yeah, I remember batching. What was
Buxley.
it?
Buxley.
Yeah.
Buxley.
I batched to that once when I was a kid.
Really?
And I think at one point or another, everybody is batched to a comic.
She was drawn very well, and she was General Half-Track's assistant.
Matter of fact, I know you batched to a comic. It was Carrot Top, Fezzi.
It was a long-distance commercial. It's the only long-distance thing about...
All right, well, who was your number 4?
My number 4 was Calvin and Hobbes.
I never got that either. Not funny to me.
I always liked Calvin and Hobbes. Number 3 was Hagar the Horrible.
Terrible. I would call it Hagar the Unfunny Terrible.
With a Viking that pillages and plunders and then has problems at home. That always cracked me up. And my number 2 was The Far Side, Gary Larson. And number 1 was Peanuts, Charlie Brown. Those were my 5 favorites.
Charlie Brown...
My boy is just curling up his face at me.
These are all terrible, am I right?
Just comics, daily comics are just not funny.
Thank you very much. And for you, I will give you this. Maybe when Charlie Brown was a cartoon, there was some laughs there. For at least the Christmas and Halloween one. The rest of them blew pretty bad. But as a comic strip, not witty, not funny. Far Side, I'll give you. I think there were some funny lines in Far Side. But I'll go so far as to say there is not a funny comic strip. 1-800-636-1067.
202-432-1067. That's the local line.
That's the local lines. They are open tonight. I can't imagine getting up every day, reading a comic, or being that, I've got to get to my comic strip. This comic strip is so funny. And, I'll walk around halls and offices and see that someone has cut out a Dilbert. And it's always effing Dilbert. And it's hanging up on the outside of a cubicle for us all to enjoy. I will always stop, look at it, and I'll turn to the person and go, that's not funny. there's no reason for you to hang that up. It's just not amusing.
My father is a huge Dilbert fan. Goes to work. He has a set of Dilbert ties that he wears to work.
Wow, does he sit at the cool table with the other really groovy dads?
Yes, he does. He watches Prices Right on his...
Does the tie curl up like the?
Is that what happens in the comic strip?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's one that's just Dilbert on a Christmas tie. Dilbert wearing a Santa hat.
Do you find Dilbert funny, Fez?
No, I've never read Dilbert really. I've tried to read it, and it's like they try to do a lot of business stuff where they'll talk about some X-Ford 9 copier model.
Yeah.
And that kind of stuff just loses me. While they're setting up their jokes, the office talk loses me in the comic strip.
Well, you never really worked in an office either, so that's part of your problem.
Right.
1-800-636-1067, 202-432-1067. I will go so far to say there's no such thing as a funny comic strip. I will say exception to every rule, and I'll give that the Far Side, even though they don't do it anymore, right, Fez?
No, Gary Larson is done with that.
And I don't blame him. Chris, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, Chris.
Garfield. A guy, a cat, and his dog.
I don't get it at all. I don't find it funny. I don't get the lasagna thing.
Oh, come on.
What was funny? Give me just one funny thing that ever happened.
Let's see here.
Thank you.
What about Odie and that tongue of his?
Yes, I'm not going to laugh at a comic strip tongue. And that's normally...
It is a big tongue.
That is normally what they are trying to sell. 1-800-636-1067, 202-432-1067. We're using the local lines tonight because our phones crap the bed. Jeff, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, Jeff.
Yeah, good, too. I went to go with the Far Side, and I do like Garfield when I was a kid.
So, Garfield when you were a child.
Yes, when I was a kid. Not as an adult, but as a kid, though.
Do you still read them now?
Not one bit.
Yeah. I don't think they're anything for adults to read, Fez.
To me, I still think that counts as me reading the paper in the morning.
1-800-636-1067. I can literally tell by the way you do the 11 o'clock show that that's all you're reading in the paper is the funny pages.
It's what I'll go to first.
All right, Jenny Q says, are you saying Gasoline Alley isn't funny? Okay, you got me there. Now, some of those things not only aren't funny, but I can't believe that anyone in the century would read them. Like The Phantom. Everybody in that looks like it's 1938.
And I also can't read any comic strip that's a serial. Where it's, you know what, you get...
Where you follow along?
Yeah, you get 3 panels of a story every day. And you're supposed to figure out what's going on with Rex Morgan, M.D. And it's not going to happen. I can't make that commitment. 1-800-636-1067, 202-432-1067.
Here's George. George, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, George.
Hey, the Far Side definitely stands alone as far as comics go.
Far Side stands alone.
Yeah, and I thought DC is pretty good, but...
Oh, wait a minute. Did you hear what you just said?
Yeah.
BC, that's the alley-oop one?
Yeah. No,
BC is the caveman one. It's, I think that's Mort Walker, who also does Beetle Bailey.
Awful.
It does.
Just
good,
effing awful.
But the rest of the comics are not only not funny, they're annoying.
Yes, I agree with you there.
Like Sally Forth. What is that?
Sally Forth is very annoying. That's the husband and wife and their daughter.
I think I spanked to that one time.
Oh, please.
You know what's worse than Sally Forth?
What's that?
Kathy.
Kathy is kind of the chubby girl who always has problems.
Horrible.
Right, she has a lot of guy problems, dating problems. Her mom's on her to get married.
Yeah, it's basically that movie, that British movie.
Oh, Bridget Jones's Diary.
Yeah, it's Bridget Jones's Diary as a comic strip.
Kathy is another one that you'll see cut out and put up in people's cubicles.
Fat girls.
I've seen it here.
Yes.
Oops.
Josh, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Yeah.
Hey, you ever heard of Heathcliff?
Heathcliff. Now, what came first, Garfield or Heathcliff?
Definitely Heathcliff. He's old school, man.
Not funny. I consider it a cat Marmaduke.
Heathcliff ought to sue Garfield. That's a big fat orange cat.
All right, Fezzy, let's grab the paper today.
Okay.
Grab the Post, and let's just go over some of these comics, and we'll see what's funny about it. All right, let's go to Charlie Brown You be Snoopy, I'll be Charlie Brown, and see if it's funny.
Okay, in the opening frame, Snoopy's sitting at a desk reading a book, and he's laughing his head off.
Remember, we're at school here. We have to set that up. We're at school.
So Snoopy is laughing reading a book.
Sorry, ma'am. He loves those bunny books. The teacher says you can look at the bunny books, but you have to do it quietly.
I can't help it. Boy, I wish they had books like this when I was young.
That's the whole effing thing. Let me point this out. Charles Schultz left $500 million to his kids, and this is the crap he puts out. All right, here's Garfield. I'll be the owner, and you be Garfield, okay? And we're standing in front of a plate of cookies.
All right, I'm Garfield. Here's what Garfield's thinking. We were out of chocolate chips, so I used bacon bits.
Cats aren't famous for their baking skills.
Until now. Gulp. As the Garfield eats the cookies.
That's the worst effing thing ever. That's the worst ever thing. All right, now here's one that always has annoyed me. I would be a child and this would annoy me. The Family Circus.
Oh, okay.
Now here's the mom walking along with the little boy who's been little forever.
Right.
And he says to her, next time I go somewhere, Mommy, you can tag along with me.
Aw.
What the hell does that mean,
Funny. I would have gotten slapped if I said that.
I might slap you now.
Hey.
You'll never see it coming.
I have a weapon, remember.
Oh, yeah.
She's got her cane. All right, so that's Jeffy. And the only difference they've made in this Family Circus in how many years is they gave the mom what they considered a new modern haircut, and she looks like Florence Henderson's Westonality mullet she's got.
The most I've done is spank on that. I've never laughed once.
You've spanked to a lot of comic strips.
A lot of testosterone. All right, let's go to Kathy, Fez. I'll be Kathy's four-eyed friend, and you be Kathy. And then I guess you'll have to be her other girlfriend. So you'll use two voices here. We haven't looked at any of these, so if the rating's bad.
So they're all looking at what? Snapshots, I guess, here?
I can't tell.
Yeah, here they're looking at pictures.
Okay.
All right. Here's a shot of Irving being jumped on with muddy paws.
If it were digital, you could put mountains behind them.
Here are both dogs in the lake.
If it was digital, you could lose that big sign.
Here's the B&B.
If it were digital, you could make the sky bluer.
Here's the trail.
If it were digital, you could make some funny sayings.
Can't you appreciate anything as is anymore? If it were digital, you could just delete him.
That's it. That's
That's Kathy.
Funniness. That's the funniness.
See, now this will distract me from a comic strip. You saw how wordy that thing was. If I look at one in the morning and I see that many words, I may not even try to get through to the fourth panel.
Your brain doesn't translate that much that early in the day.
Not that quick. That's too wordy.
All right, Fezzy, let's do Tank McNamara. You be Tank.
All right. Taking a box office cue from pro hockey, NASCAR will just penalize and not eject drivers who fight during races.
It's a safety valve, Tank. Fighting with fists is better than setting off a grudge with two cars going 195 miles an hour.
Okay. That actually looks like we're missing a panel. I mean, we're not.
No.
It seems like we are.
Because they can hand in crap and no one bothers with them. Oh, here's one I know you'll like, Fezzy. Rex Morgan, M.D.
Oh, God, that's been going on forever.
Judge Parker and Mary Worth. I bet that's the least read ever. Here's the Pinhead. I've never heard of that before. Somebody with a pinhead. Foxtrot. Pearls Before Swine.
I've never heard of Pearls Before Swine. That's really badly drawn.
You be the one pig, and I'll be the second pig, Fez.
Okay. Listen, sweetheart, I know we made a terrible mistake saving all of our retirement money in me, but I love you, and I know you love me. And I know that you would never seriously consider smashing me just for the sake of a few dollars.
What time's your nap?
And there's a hammer sitting there. How much are these comic strip people making?
Oh, they make millions, Fez. Millions.
Because they're just in every paper in the country.
And then, they're selling tchotchkes to everybody.
And the greeting cards.
Greeting cards,
right.
It goes on and on.
Calendars, all that.
It's the worst effing thing in the world.
Now, they got this one comic strip, for better or for worse. You ever check out that one?
Never.
This is one where the woman who draws it, Lynn Johnston, she actually has the characters get old. I mean, like the little kids that when she started drawing this thing, they're now grown and adults because she's been doing this for so long. So there's actually a character will get pregnant, have another baby. That baby will start school. In fact, I think the main character just became a grandmother.
We got a copy of this for Fez?
Yes.
Okay. We'll do that one later. We'll do that
okay.
one Fez. So let's go through this. So they actually get old until they die?
Yeah, I guess so. They actually killed off the grandfather character and stuff because, 20 years later, Grandpa was going to die. They put the dog to sleep in this comic strip.
That's funny.
So it's yeah. So it's I think it's the only one that I know of where the characters don't, like Family Circus, the kids, stay the same age. I think this is the only one where everyone grows older.
Here's Charlie. Charlie, you're on Fez.
This is Charlie.
This is Charlie.
This is Charlie.
This is Charlie.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, you guys, Andy Capp.
Oh, Andy Capp used to beat up his wife. That was funny.
Yeah, he was all the time.
Yeah, he was kind of a drunk soccer fan. That's it.
Now, did they get rid of Andy Capp because so politically incorrect, or did they clean up his act?
I have no idea, Fez. I grew into adulthood and moved on. I put away childish things like it says in the Bible.
But there would always be a cloud of dust and a bowling pin as those two are just whacking each other.
All right, this was sent to us from our friends at MediaHorrorsOnline.com. It's their favorite comic strip, Fez. And it is Get Your War On. Have you ever read this one?
I've never read this one.
All right, now you have to be careful and use F's, Fezzy, because there's, plenty of F-bombs in here, okay?
Oh, okay. Which one where are you at?
I got the two guys talking to each other on the phone.
Okay, yeah, I got that.
All right, I'll start it off. Ready?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Operation Enduring Freedom is in the house.
Oh, yeah. Operation Enduring Our Freedom is in the mother effing house.
Yes, Operation Enduring Our Freedom, the bomb, the living F out of you is in the house.
Oh, my God, this war on terrorism is going to rule. I can't wait until the war is over and there's no more terrorism.
I know. Remember when the U.S. had a drug problem and then we decided a war on drugs, and now you can't buy drugs like that anymore? It'll be just like that.
Right, God, if only that war on drugs hadn't been so effective, I could really use some effing marijuana right now.
You know what I love? I love how we're dropping food aid packages on a country that is just one big effing minefield. That's good.
Well, it turns the relief effort into a fun game for the Afghan people. A game called See If You Can Have Any Effing Arms Left to Eat the Food We Dropped After You Step on a Landmine Trying to Retrieve It.
Right, or maybe they could play See If I Have You Step on the Landmine, the food package flies in your effing decapitated head as it sails through the air.
How's work going? Is your company freaked out about the post-World Trade Center recession?
Work effing rules right now. All I have pornography. Oh, we had to dump that? All I had to do for the last 2 weeks is run batches to internet porn.
Are you kidding? You're the reason we're in this recession.
Sure I am. And maybe when my company gets the emergency federal aid applied for, they'll only fire 15,000 people instead of 20,000 people they were trying to jack on. Now this is funny. This is adorable.
This is very funny and very clever.
Here's Joe. Joe, you're on Fez.
Hey, Ron and Fez. How you guys doing?
Good.
Good. You guys already went through the Tank McNamara, but I think Chester Molester is funny as hell.
Chester Molester from
Hustler.
From Hustler. I actually remember one from when I was like a kid. It was like an Easter egg hunt, and the kids were like grabbing Easter eggs, and they were following along, and then you just saw Chester sitting there with his sack painted as Easter eggs, waiting for the kids to come.
That's funny.
Now, that was funny, and I rolled. And I thought there should be more jokes like that.
Put that in the newspaper every day.
Brian, you're on Fez.
Yeah, I think you guys are forgetting the key comic, Calvin and Hobbes.
Stinks. Just stinks.
I mentioned Calvin and Hobbes in my top 5.
Yeah, if I had mud flap, sure, I'd go pick up my Calvin mud flap where it's whizzing on some other team.
You don't think he looks funny whizzing on the number 32?
Nah, it hasn't happened for me yet.
Well, the Calvin and Hobbes jokes, some of those were funny.
Not even one. Not even one was funny.
I don't know if I agree with you there.
Well, you've made your case. Thank you very much, sir.
Thanks for the call.
You're an exciting man, so I'm sure that's an exciting comic strip. I made a mistake. Fezzi, I'm going to go pick up the T-shirt.
Here's the phone numbers tonight. 1-800-636-1067, 202-432-1067.
I try not to watch cartoons. I will watch The Simpsons. The only kind of cartoons I'll like is anime, that XXX anime that they have, because I can spank to it.
There's a lot of animation that you spank to.
What am I going to do? I'm a regular guy. Why don't you air one out right now?
I am not going to air one out in here in front of Blind Courtney. I am not going to do it.
All right, Paranoid says the funniest comic ever was Ted Knight's Cosmic Cow. Now, that's a good point. That is about as funny as the guys who draw these. And do you ever notice these bastards always try to act like they work hard?
Oh, yeah, there's always a crazy deadline to meet.
Yeah, now, Doonesbury, did you think that was funny?
Doonesbury, I really didn't read that much. I tried to get into Doonesbury. A lot of times I didn't get it, and again, too wordy for me to sit there and read.
Well, you have to sometimes know the news as well. But all the Hunter S. Thompson stuff, I always laughed at. They would have a character that just completely ripped him off, called himself Duke, and then they never paid him a cent. Here is Peter. Peter, you're on Fez.
Hey, guys. Hey, Ronnie, if you like The Simpsons, Matt Groening, the creator of The Simpsons, used to write this comic called Life is Hell with his bunny rabbit. It was like Bart Simpson. It was absolutely hilarious. All kinds of real-life satirical situations, etc.
Yeah, I saw it before, and it looks like Bart Simpson with rabbit ears. Have you said it?
Yeah, I saw he has like big buck teeth and like those Simpson eyes that he draws.
It looks like Bart with big rabbit ears. It's stupid as hell. Give me just regular Bart stuff. Clint, you're on Ron and Fez. Turn your radio down, Clint.
Okay.
Yeah.
Moonshoe should have told you. Go ahead, buddy.
Is this the Ron Fez show?
Yes, it is. You're on the air. Go ahead, pal.
Okay, I'm saying that Garfield is a great comic just because they would send that cute little Normal the cat. They would send her to Abu Dhabi all the time.
And that's funny how?
Because it's a cute little cat, and she'd be sent to Abu Dhabi.
Mm-hmm. Maybe turn your radio back up. I'll turn it up real loud.
So you can hear the click.
Yeah. They can't prove their point. If someone said to me, why is the Seinfeld show funny, I'd be able to tell you.
You can give an example.
I'd give you plot examples. Everybody would go, oh, now I get it. I want to watch this show. But these people are just going, can you imagine a cat eating lasagna? A cat!
I think my favorite Far Side, it was right after Colonel Sanders died, and it was a picture of Colonel Sanders outside the pearly gates, and everything's real ornate and decorated, and it's all chickens. Like God is a big chicken, and he's trying to get into heaven, and there's Colonel Sanders standing outside going, oh, crap. I never realized God was a chicken.
So that's just kind of being mean to a dead person's family. Nice.
Yeah.
Maurice, you're on Fez.
Dilbert. What about Dilbert?
What about him? What about him?
Don't read Dilbert, huh?
Yes, I've read it. I've read it. I've never laughed once.
Never once.
Never once.
Gosh, it's office humor.
I know. I don't get it.
Give us a premise. Give us some reason we should laugh at it.
Well, you got me there.
Thank you.
Yeah, there you go.
Thank you very much. Turn your radio up. You know, it is the Ron and Fez show.
A lot of those Dilberts, the punchline is always, I'll have my email, call your email.
You know, and it's like this. People think, hey, this is in an office. I work in an office. Why not hang this up so people stop walking past my cubicle and stop and give me some kind of credit? Do you ever notice that there's some things in life that you try to take credit for like that you have nothing to do with?
Oh, like, yeah, no one else has seen this comic strip. I'll
be able to do it, and I'll be the hero. And I do it with movies all the time. I take great pride in finding a movie that nobody doesn't tell people, and then I get emails about it later going, thanks so much. I'm going, hey, it's no problem. What did I do? I did nothing but view.
I like to be the first one in the conversation to bring up a weird news story. Like, did you see the guy in the crate who mailed himself to Dallas on the airplane?
Well, you, Fezzi, I mean, literally, a guy who's living through 40-some guys that he's never met before. And it's a real
Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
It's a real prime example that you will feel good or feel bad depending on how some strangers do. People that, let's face it, you have nothing to do with, and they probably don't care much about you.
Oh, I wouldn't say that.
I know they say the fans are the best, but they have no way of knowing that you're wearing a T-shirt every day for a year.
They have no idea about that, and I bet none of them actually have a tattoo of their own team's logo.
I'll do this also when I'm doing like home tapes for people. And I'll try to make like the greatest party tape of all time. And then I'll go like this, let's play this at your party. And literally people are going, hey, and if I see them down there and you're like, you digging this? Like somehow. I have created, and I'll try to make like the best road trip tapes. Try to make like a 6-hour tape if I know we got to go 6 hours. We'll take a break. We'll come back and talk about that. It's the Ron and Fez Show.